Hello, 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 hello. Yes, honey, it's a half-hearted hello, honey. I'm rolling over. I had taken a nap. I've been deciding to try to do this live for a few days. I'm behind on everything, on what I wanted to discuss and things of that nature. However, what keeps resonating in my ears and in my head right now, it is on all the damn news and et cetera, is about what Governor Kemp has done down here, or was trying to do, or was about to do, and things about reopening Georgia. I'm going to, I'm probably going to be echoing a few sentiments that everybody has been saying, but I'm hoping to put a different spin on it, because I want us to get to a point to where we think and actually get into some things. Now, also, I'm going to be touching on a couple of things because I have not commented on things on the Clark Sisters movie yet and things of that nature. Hello, everyone coming up in here. Hey, Marlon, what's going on, baby? What's up, what's up, what's up? Hey, Andre and Lupaka and Terrell. I keep saying every time I see you, mean you need to talk. How are you doing? And et cetera's babies. And all this corona shits and things, you know. But let's start off with something real light first before I get real heavy. Okay? And that there is I've got to give y'all my take on the Clark Sisters movie and things of that nature. I know I'm a little behind. It's been out for a couple of weeks now. And all of that. Drinking iced coffee. Oh, I wish I could join you with some iced coffee. I can't drink coffee anymore. It doesn't agree with my system since I had my surgeries and things, so I can't drink coffee anymore. But I do have some tea. Uh-huh. But let's talk about the Clark Sisters movie first, okay? Because I want to be light before I get into the heavy stuff. Um, hey, what's going on, everyone? What's going on? Okay, light appetizers first. Light appetizers. Okay, what as in continental breakfast and things of that nature. Cute. Okay, Leo Brown. Hey, baby, what's going on? Johan is up in here. How are you, baby? All right, let's get into it. Um, I'm sure many of you have seen it by now. If you haven't, okay, I know you're going to get to it because, you know, I've had certain friends who said that they were not interested in the movie. And most of those, which is interesting because one of my sons, I just thought he was going to be into it, but, you know, as churchified as he is, but I don't believe that, you know, he's more so musically inclined, you know, like most of us who watched it, because a lot of us, whether you involved in church or not, most of us have sang in the choir or something and have been, you know, inspired by the sound of the Clark Sisters and carrying on. And then I'm from Detroit as well, so y'all know, not being a church head like that and carrying on, this is a cute little thing. But I'm going to say that I'm going to echo the sentiments of many that Lifetime really did a very good job with this. But I want to put that on the producers as well because I think we had a lot of great producers on the show with Queen Latifah and Mary J. and Missy Elliott and carrying on. I'm going to say that Ingenue Ellis, who played Dr. Maddie Moss Clark, if this heifer does not get any Emmy, all the whatever award that movie goes up for, if she does not get all or sweep those awards, or at least get that damn date, that primetime Emmy, then I know that I'm going to have to do something else with the business, and we're going to have to boycott that because that heifer played the fuck out of Dr. Maddie Moss Clark, okay? That's unequivocal, honey. Unequivocal. Okay? Her performance was so strong. She was just as strong as who am I trying to say? What's the child's name? Damn it. Jamie Foxx. She was just as strong as Jamie Foxx was playing Ray Charles. Okay, because it just seemed like she just embodied Maddie Moss Clark. It seems it's almost as if and I had never met the woman, and et cetera. I knew of her legacy and things, but I'd never met her. But I thought that performance was absolutely stellar, and she needs to get every award that comes across in this particular season. Now, rather than go play by play through the movie, I want to bring up the parts that I think are very, 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 very that way. I really believe that one of the things that was said but not said is that I believe wholeheartedly that Twinkie Clark, Albertina or Albertita Clark, as her name is, I really and truly believe that there was some kind of learning disability with her. And I say that because of how they kept saying, or her mama kept saying, I see a woman, but you a child. You a child. And her processes and carried on. The way how she kept connecting the dots, according to this movie, the way how she kept connecting those dots, baby. It's something with that was just, I was like, wow, we have a lot of issues here. Because for someone, now it's one thing to understand about not knowing the business of show, because you hear that a lot of times with a lot of different celebrities and stuff where they signed away their publishing and didn't know what they were doing with these contracts and carrying on. But when she sold her catalog, sold her catalog and everything, and everybody says she sold it for a car. No, she sold it for the money for a car. Let's get that right. We love running with shit. Okay, but she sold it for the money, for the car and carrying on, and et cetera, et cetera. And so in dealing with that, her choices in men and her connection and carrying on. They always say, I deal with this a lot, and I hear folks say this all the time, that you're going to either find your father, either exactly who exactly who your dad is, the opposite of your dad, or the fantasy of your dad. And the question becomes, who was Mr. Terrell to her? Because as much as they had praised their dad and carried on, did she find her dad? I believe so. Or at least the direct opposite in some regards, because of his jealousy of Manny Moss Clark. See, all this time I never knew that she was in an abusive relationship, but I wasn't supposed to know, because that wasn't, we never heard of those particular things. And then as close-knit as that damn Kojic church is, child, that there is everything. So I really believe that we were dealing with a lot of issues there. There was a guy when the movie first came out. What's his name? I can't call his name, and maybe that's a good thing, because he was up here on Facebook, and he was sitting up here, child, putting out all kinds of shit, inside stuff and everything, because he put up here and said, I don't put out, he said, I'm so close to the family to where I have information, but I'm only talking about the stuff that is proven and has went public. And I was like, oh, okay. And so he put out here, what was it? Oh, I was finna call his name and I can't think of it. But he had put up that there was some bad blood between them, because Dorinda ended up having an affair with Karen's husband, and it was supposedly during the time when when Karen was in the hospital and all of that. And I don't know if y'all remember when we almost lost Karen. And I remember that because Detroit went through a whole big old thing, and we was on the prayer vigil and carried on, and this, that, and the third, and a lot of that, was because we she had went through a weight loss surgery. She was going to have, I believe, the gastric bypass or whatever. But the dude put up here and said that was part of it, and that was one of the reasons. But the main reason was, they said that he said, and this is according to him, that Karen had a lot of abortions, and that she had a lot of scar tissue, and that was what was the complication was, and how come they was having so many problems with the gastric bypass. And I asked him, I said, well, wait a minute, honey. Well, this is what he told me. I said, you got a lot of dirt, honey. You absolutely saying this as if it is fact. What is your capacity to this family that you are such an authority on their dirt? And that's what he said, that, let's just say I'm close enough to where, I got all the inside track, but I'm only reporting what has already been put out there and that's been public knowledge. Oops, I'll drop the phone. And he said that he has receipts. And I said, well, wow. And what I'm surprised of is that the family has not jumped on it or whatever, and possibly because he's the only somebody right now that's doing that. Leo, you say, was it Larry Reed or Denise's son? No. Then again, it could be one of them under a pseudonym. You know what I'm saying? Because this is a whole different name. But Larry Reed is very Larry Reed, honey. That girl is going to sit down there and do what she going to do and carry on. She has no qualms about it. But this particular child was going through all of that. And I really, really thought that was really something. Now, everybody wanted to run and go fact check the movie and carrying on and what was good, what wasn't. Let me tell y'all this. One of the things about biopics is that there is literary license on some degrees because they're still trying to sell television, okay, or the movie or this, that, and the other. So, of course, all of y'all know, I know y'all went to YouTube and saw the real footage from when Denise was at the funeral for real. And according to the real footage, no, they didn't come dragging her off and things at the funeral, but she did say, my mama, she wouldn't have y'all sitting around here just doing that. My mama was a praise word. Y'all got to make some, she did do all of that. But now what did come out of it, Denise's son, Larry, did say that after the funeral, after they was going out, that confrontation outside, he said, now that was real. He said they got out there and he said he was scared and this, that, and the other because they almost came to blows for real. The husbands and kids, it was just a mess. It was just a mess, he said. And it got real that way. So all of y'all trying to fact check. I know somebody who went up there, they didn't have the right dresses on and this, that, and the other. I said, oh my Lord. So, everybody wanted to nitpick on certain points of it and carrying on because, of course, we as Black folks, when we're talking about children that we know and that we love and carrying on, I guess I probably would be the same if ever they do a Patti LaBelle biopic or something on Stephanie Mills or whatever. I think I would be as nitpicky, if I want to make sure we tell the truth. But at the same time, if I'm here to tell you the story, I can sit down and say, no, that didn't go down like that, but okay. You know what I'm saying? Marlon, you said Denise said it in an online interview that she, quote unquote, kept all of her children and that she couldn't speak on behalf of her sisters and their children. So the alleged abortions have been brought up based on that interview. Yeah, that's true, because I heard that too. As far as those abortions and stuff are concerned, that she wasn't the only one, because I was also told that it was more than one of them that had abortions as well. And I think that came from Denise. I think that came from her because I think, because they were trying to kick her out of the group because they wanted her to have an abortion. And that's what didn't show up in the movie. Denise said, it was one of those Larry Reed interviews too. Denise had said that she was kicked out. It wasn't that they voted her out, they kicked her out of the group because they wanted her to have an abortion, and she said she was going to keep her, and that whole dynamic of all of that. So overall, the movie was absolutely pleasant. I've watched it twice, but I'm going to tell y'all to do this. Because I didn't realize it was so long ago that TV One did the Unsung. So if you want to do some fact checking and carrying on, go rewatch the Unsung, because the Unsung, you can see that on demand. That's one of the ones they have on demand right now on TV One's on demand section. Go watch the unsung and listen to them tell their story and then compare it to the movie. And you will see a big difference. Well, not so much as a big difference, but you will see what's going on and how to connect those particular dots and carry on. You understand? So, but overall, the movie was absolutely, it was a wonderful, wonderful movie. I wish, though, it had been a biopic for the cinema and not television. Because, see, it's so much that you can do within that 2 hour time. Well, they had 2.5 hours, which ended up becoming maybe about an hour and a half because you had all these damn commercials and carrying on. But, yeah, that there is that. So that there is my take on the Clark Sisters movie, child, and carrying on. And yes, the singing was phenomenal. Them children sounded like they sounded. They really did well with the music and this, that, and the other. I was very pleased with all of the performances. Of course, we knew Kiki was going to kill it because, hell, that's her family. Playing her mama here, well, she got to know her mama. She was raised by the woman. So she know the ins and outs of who Karen is and carrying on. I would love to sit down and find out how she felt about reenacting her mother's love story to her dad and how that came about and this, that, and the other, what did that feel like and what space did that put her in? Being an actress and then, knowing that this was how her mama and her daddy met and carried on and blah, 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 blah. And I know, going through all of that again, as far as the death scene or the near death scene with her mom, because I know that devastated them. Oh my God. When Kiki first came out with her first song, You Don't Know, hell, I remember one time she was performing in somewhere. That girl got to shouting on the stage because as she got to thinking about, what God has brought her mom through and carried on. It was, so as a child, we all know what that feeling is for those of us who are still connected to our parents and still have that. I for those who've been adopted and carrying on and has experienced that disconnection tragedy, I don't know if you know that particular connection. You may have that yearning, but all of us know what that special yearning is to the mother and to the parents and carrying on. So just imagine that and then to react that, for television and to go through this and this, that, and the other, blah, blah, blah. And then to understand what the questions were, to quote unquote research the role and all that kind of stuff. So that's a very interesting question. I have not, well, wait a minute, I was going to say I have not heard her talk about it, but then again, I have not paid attention to any of those interviews either. The post interviews, that is, because I didn't want anybody to adulterate it and carry on and, everybody trying to get into the salaciousness of it. Well, what didn't happen here? Is this true? Is that true? And blah, blah, blah. But I do know that that their story hopefully has opened up, discussion and conversation for abuse in the church and this whole male hierarchy. And the culture church is still big on that shit. Culture church is still big that they ain't supposed to be a woman is not supposed to be a preacher. She could be an evangelist, but she's not supposed to have no position in the church and this, that, and the other. And all those archaic shit that they still hold on to, which is funny because y'all remember what was it, the preachers of whatever? And they remember those damn reality shows, the preachers of Los Angeles and carrying on what Detroit had one. And Dorinda was on that particular show. And I felt that was beneath her caliber. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, what the hell is this? And then it was her and another woman pastor on there. And the other woman was a pastor. And then they ended up having this little disagreement because Dorinda was like, well, in the Kojic church, we just don't believe that a woman should be a pastor and carrying on. And so basically she was trying to tell the woman that she was wrong for being a minister and pastoring a church, bitch. How's she gonna be wrong if she's spreading the good news? And yet you sit up there and say what tradition says is that the first preacher was a woman because y'all say the gospel or the good news is to say he is risen. That's what the good news is. That's what spreading the gospel is according to what traditional teachings are. So if the first person to do that was a woman because Mary was at the tomb and sat up there and said, oh, he is risen, then how is it wrong for a woman to be a preacher or to have that title or to lead the people? That there is just archaic. That's archaic and barbaric. And a lot of that stuff that goes on in the Catholic, not the Catholic, well, that too, but in that Kojic church and carried on, they still do that. Y'all see that whole thing about Maddie Moss Clark being set down and carried on, and they wanted to strip her of her title of the International Minister of Music and things, and what she was doing with the choirs and all of that. That there was monumental. And like I say, if you want to go fact check or whatever, go rewatch the TV ones Unsung on the Clark sisters and get that particular story, because child, that there was absolutely ridiculous. It was ridiculous. It was ridiculous. And I hope that their movie helps to open up a lot of discussion, because we already know what church hurt is and that kind of stuff. And seeing their movie, we absolutely get a first-hand look from a quote-unquote star standpoint, because these are gospel stars, of what this means. And see, here's the other part of the discussion that I've always wanted to have. I'm looking to have gospel singers to come on my radio show. I had Donald Lawrence say that he was coming, but we haven't been able to hook it up just yet, because I want to talk about what it is you say this is ministry. And I think this is the problem that the husband was having, Mr. Clark. You say that this is a ministry, but yet you're chasing the bag. You're chasing fame. Is that what you're doing, or are you absolutely doing ministry? Because a lot of the stuff that Maddie Moss was doing, she, everything, she was centered in God. She was centered in making sure she was doing what the Lord said for her to do. But at the expense of, she pulled Twinkie out of school. And how about that? That whole idea in the movie that she pulled Twinkie out and said she got to make a decision whether you're going to go to school or you're going to do the work of the Lord. Really? But yet you kept calling her a child. You kept saying she was a child. You kept saying, I see a woman, but you's a child. Well, has she gone to school? Because she had developed a little bit more? Because she have learned a couple of things about book work and carried on that would have prepared her, perhaps? Very interesting discussions. So all of you who are ministers of music, all of you who are pastors and carrying on, you starting churches and things, and you feel as though you're being led by the Spirit to do X, Y, and Z, I want you to take a look at that movie. And I want you to look at that movie, and then I want you to also look at Carlton Pearson's movie about him having everything, and because he had a different direction, how everything was snatched from him. Okay, and how he had to basically start over in ministry. Those two movies and stuff, and for those of you who are any kind of anything in the church, I stepped away from all of that. I got away from organized religion because I'm sick of it. I'm so sick of it because everything about what belief is subjective. It is absolutely subjective. And they teach you that in church. They teach you that. It's all about relationship. Ain't that what they say? It ain't about whether or not you know the scriptures or whatever. You got to have a relationship with God. Okay, ain't that what they teach you? So if my relationship is that way, and then we sing the song, because one of the songs we used to sing every Sunday, you don't know like I know what he done for me. You can't tell it, let me tell it, what he done for me. So if you can't tell my story, then how could you tell me what my faith is? How could you tell me what my belief should be? How could you tell me who God is to me? And you can't tell it like I did. See, so all of that is subjective, but we let subjective become the foundation with subjectivity. We let subjectivity become the foundation of something that has no basis. How can you sit down there and let subjectivity become the foundation of the world? And then we also say that my hope is built on nothing less than Jesus' blood and righteousness. All other things, all other ground is sinking sand. So if that's what that is, and I have to be anchored in what I believe in, then you can't sit down there and point fingers and carry on about all of that. So with all this hierarchy and male this and male that, it is absolutely ridiculous, children. And so I'm going to encourage y'all to do that. See what discussion that came out this damn movie. I done went into a whole nother direction about the church and carrying on, but these are the kinds of discussions that could come out of that just by watching this particular movie. You have all these different women. You have the whole family dynamic, because you have a mixed family. I know my mother is a product of a mixed family. My grandmother was married. My grandmother was married twice. However, I just recently discovered, like within the last couple of years, I did not know that my grandmother, she had 7 children, but she had 3 different fathers, baby daddies. I didn't know that. Okay. And that broke my face. And I believe her first husband passed, and then she met a new man, and I guess they were supposed to get married, but when she had my aunt and uncle, there was something with that, and the man, he didn't want to have twins. She had twins, and he didn't want both babies. So my grandma was like, "No, you can't. This is a package deal, honey." So she left him alone, and then she met my grandfather, and then had 2 more kids. Okay, so my grandma had a total of 7 children. And she married my grandfather and carried on and all of that. And then my grandfather passed. I never met him. So in that, my mother comes from a split family. And so in that dynamic of that, there's 2 older kids, Jackie being one of them, and then they have an older brother that they never talk about. They never talk about who is the firstborn of the clan. Okay, that came from Matthew Moss's first marriage. So, the rift between Denise and Jackie, whatever that is, I wish that there was more to it, that could be explained. But Denise talks about it. I have to listen to it again, because again, that's coming out of the Larry Reed stuff, when she talked to Larry Reed on YouTube. But see that discussion can be had of what it is to have a blended family in the church, and what does all that mean? You understand? So a lot has come out of the church and carrying on. Let me go up in here, because I see y'all talking. I got folks talking and carrying on. Oh, Archangel that came up in here. Bishop Flonda, how are you, darling? For coming up. Thanks for coming in. Now, you know what? You in here, and you know what I'm saying, honey. So yes, child, you understand. You understand, and I'm sure that you will come on. Emily is up in here. Hey, Emily. Okay, my big sister. Oh, my big sister Sarah is up in here. Hey, Sarah. Voulez-vous coucher avec moi? Well, not to you, girl, but you know what I'm saying. I know what that song means. Okay. Okay. Haven't you say it right? And 2 of Denise's kids were from a pastor and another bishop. Okay, exactly. Now, see, that's another thing that, that's a whole nother discussion, because we talk about, with that whole church thing, we see that from the Catholic Church all the time, as far as the sexual improprieties that goes on with the children and this and the other, and how a lot of people in position end up preying on folks and carrying on. That wasn't, thank God that wasn't my story. That was not my story, because I would not have known how to handle that. I knew I had an issue. When I was in high school, we did this thing called God is Alive and Well, and it started as a monologue in my acting class. Okay? But what happened, myself and my son Pete and Vicky Marshall, we did this. I was the preacher. Vicky was the prayer. She was the prayer, and Pete was the deacon. And we did this whole big old thing, right? And I did it off of what was this? Yeah, I did it off of 23rd Psalms. And so we did this thing, and so we ended up touring different churches, right? And I remember going to Grandale Presbyterian Church, where we did it. We did it in a basement and carrying on. It was a whole big, for Black History Month of things. And, they were looking at us doing this and doing that, and it was all lovely. But what broke me was, you had the pastor of the church, who, after all that was said and done, he went outside and lit up a cigarette. And that broke me, because I got so tired. And then this was coming from the pastor, not just the deacons or whatever. This was the pastor. And you're telling me one thing, but yet you going out here talking about how much this is a sin, and oh, I'm covered in the sin. I mean, I'm covered in the blood, and I don't sin no more. And then you went right outside and lit up a cigarette and got to smoking. And that there has just pierced my soul. Because I went home, I told my mother, I said, Mama, I thought he said this, How is it? And then we start, Mom was like, well, they still men, baby, and God's still trying to deal with them. And I said, well, wait a minute, how could you get up here and say that I'm wrong, and yet you going out here doing this right after the service? That always bothered me. So we have those particular things that are in the church that becomes discussion. So we have the sexual stuff that goes on. We have the whole idea of what it means to be to now church as a business. A lot of us still don't want to see church as business. You understand? So let's look at the fact that Pastor Clark was jealous of the fact that his wife was doing all of the traveling. She became more notarized than he did. Which is why he was so embarrassed about you no good to me and blah, 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 blah. That's ridiculous. Okay. Hold on. Eric is watching. And hey, this is Rodney. Did you get that message I sent you? And can you touch on it for a minute? What? Okay, wait a minute. Let me go back. I missed something. Hold on. Let me go back. I thought I got everything. Hold on. Because somebody said something. I'm going to touch on that in just a minute. Wait a minute. Let me go back because I want to make sure everybody's voice is heard. I want to make sure everyone's voice is heard. Okay, that was you talking about drinking iced coffee. Andre, hey, from Chicago. Okay, Chi-Town. How y'all doing down there in Chi-Town, baby? Okay. Let's see, leaders, I thought it was great. Loved it, even though they made it cute. Cause Miss Maddie was something else, child. And that whole thing about her throwing shoes and carrying on, that was true. I never studied with her, but my best friend, I have a whole host of folks that went to that Manny Moss Clark Conservatory of Music on 7 Mile. It was between Greenfield and Southfield. Yeah, I heard a whole lot of her throwing shoes and Bibles and erasers, the chalkboard erasers, whatever she got her hands on. They said she threw it, honey. And I said, oh no, that couldn't have been me. Johan, he said, how about for condition in your country now because virus COVID-19 in my country now, stay home about it. Okay, I'm going to touch on that in just a minute because I'm coming to that, baby. I'm coming to that. Daryl says, hi, how are you? Cecil, hey, Demetrius. Hey, Cecil, how are you? Okay, I'm going back because I want to make sure I get everybody's voice up in here because I know you guys have said something. Leo, you said, yeah, I think she was a little slow because of the way they treated her. You can see it if you read between the lines, right? Because I think that was something that they said it but didn't say it, and carrying on. And then look at, when she got to the point where she became a housewife. And they was, basically saying that, she wasn't keeping a good home and this, that, and the other. They don't talk about her son much either because they had a baby. And they don't talk about her son much, and I thought that was very interesting. And that there is now because I knew she had gotten married. I never knew that she had any children, Okay, this is where I started. Okay. Right. Hey, what's going on? Okay. Sarah said, hello, Demetrius, and I agree with you. Thank you, Doc. LaQuint Weaver. Hey, Quint. What's going on, sugar? How are you? Quint don't remember me, honey. He and we did a play together called God's Trombone years ago. That's when I first met him. And Jerry, what was Jerry's last name? Jerry Ripley. You remember Jerry? Jerry was Jerry passed on. God, that's you, Jerry. Yeah, his little stuff. That girl was a mess, child. She was a mess. Okay. Hey, did you get the message that I sent you? Can you touch on it for a minute? I didn't see it yet, baby. So resend it so that I get it. Okay. Okay, Brian is watching. Marvin, you say, like Kevin Sneed touched on it, they also wanted to bring Maddie down because of the alleged fathers of two of Denise's children. Men in the church covering up their shit and not being accountable. You say ish, but I'm going to say it like it is. Okay. Right. Why couldn't Twinkie finish at Howard? Exactly. Okay. Right. Because she was trying to go to school and Okay, Dodge is watching. Okay, Leo, you said, oh, you gonna have Mr. DL on your show? That would be interesting. Okay, okay, and DL, that's Donald Lawrence, honey, not for download, child, okay? Okay, Molly, you said, well, they crucified Carlton Pearson just because he wasn't supporting the man-made antics of the church and what it took to reach God. Okay. I saw a lot of, Leo says, I saw a lot of manipulation from Maddie with Twinkie. They were both codependent on each other, just like many black families, and the Braxtons, and the Jacksons, and even the Osmonds. Oh, now you better say that. You better say that, darling. Listen, that there, and this see again, you see what kind of conversations are coming out of this particular movie, because we as an African American community, these are issues that we have to deal with, because the question becomes, is it being codependent, or is it what we know to be us taking responsibility? Because my mother relied on me. I'm the firstborn. And so because I was able to do it, she told me this, and she said, if I had to do it all over again, I would have let you remain a child. Because I grew up so quickly, because I helped raise my siblings. Okay? And she said something to me one time that hurts me, and every time I think about it, it pierces me. Because as a parent, she was doing what she had to do to make sure that the house was taken care of, okay? Then she became a single parent because she and my father divorced. Now, at the time of that, I was 8. The divorce became final when I was 10. So, that's 1980. Okay, yes, I'm 50. So, that's 1980. So, from that time, I was the one there cooking, cleaning, changing diapers and formulas and carrying on and this, that, and other, because what my father was, my father didn't. So that was me, because I showed her that I can do it, and I was able to do it. Then it was put on me to do, and then it was expected of me to do. Then it became, oh, it was just dumped on me because I'm going to do it. You know what I'm saying? And so that there becomes a whole kit and caboodle. So now as I'm growing, coming into teenage years or whatever, you know, my parents divorced, mama not being a woman, and me not understanding that at the time, a woman with needs, you know, and I'm not talking about just sexual needs or whatever, but a woman who needs adult companionship. You know, outside of having her good girlfriends or whatever, hell, she needed to be around a man, you know, for the security of it, to be feminine, to have somebody that she can rely on for strength and comfort and all of those kinds of things. You know, it was all of that I didn't get. Well, I'm her son, so she couldn't rely on me for that, because I'm the child. You know, and then I'm a child. How about that? You see what I'm saying? So that is part of that discussion that has to come out of that, because that's real. So the whole codependency piece, I love that piece, Leo. Thank you. Okay, lead column. Yeah, is that the husband's name? Yeah. Wasn't that the husband's name? Because the son is a junior. So yeah, okay. Leo says, I've seen many Matty Mosses. My grandmother was one of them, and my mother is just like that. Okay. Okay. Jackie oldest daughter, then Denise, the oldest Clark daughter. Yes. That's what it is. They have an older son. Dr. Clark, her firstborn is the son. Then came Jackie. Then she divorced Mr. Cullum. Then she became a Clark, and her union with Dr. Clark became Denise, then Twinkie, then Dorinda, and then Karen. Okay, so that there is that. So a lot of people, Larry said this, and I did not like, when Larry Reid did this, I did not like how he said that, because it threw shade in the game. Because he was like, well, as far as the Clark sisters are concerned, Denise is the oldest Clark. So she's the real Clark sister. And that was tacky. Oh my God. You know, when you're watching this shit on YouTube and carrying on, you can't type fast enough. And then I was watching the replay, so I couldn't give it live because I'd have blasted his ass. That day was tacky. That was real tacky. All he just like listen, okay, of the union between Dr. Clark and Manny Moss Clark, child, Denise is the firstborn of their union. Okay, but Jackie, as far as all the sisters are concerned, Jackie is the eldest child of Maddie's children. Lee, their brother, is the firstborn. Now, what's so hard with saying that without making it sound all tawdry? You know what I'm saying? Anyway. Okay. Lily Floyd, hey, you watching? Sarah said, ha ha ha, I'm a Kojic PK. Okay, then sister did okay, now and see, coming from that, and see, you understand that because you know that whole era. See, you're Dr. Clark's era, as far as what it was growing up in the Kojic church and what it meant. Because I'm on the heels of I'm a '70s baby. Okay, I came in 1970, and that's when the church and everything was starting to take this revolutionary turn. Okay, that's when the music started to change and carrying on. We started to do things a little differently, and this, that, and the other. But you know, as far as women not being able to wear pants and this, that, and the other, y'all saw it in the movie. Jackie came to the house in them pants, and Maddie wouldn't let her in that damn house, and she shut that door in her face and said, it was all about appropriateness and carrying on, and the whole idea of what women are supposed to do, you know. And somebody please tell me, I got to research this. Where in the hell does this come from about the whole idea of the man being the one to wear the pants? And I know it's supposed to have meant that, literally speaking, about men wearing pants, because women were always supposed to be in dresses and skirts and, you know, be lovely and frilly and prissy and all of that. But that doesn't make sense. Okay? Because I thought it was real stupid, because I remember coming up, there were some folks who would not allow their girls to wear pants at all, even in the wintertime. Now, I'm from Detroit. And you talking back in the 70s, child, when the snow used to come up to my damn knees. Okay? And you would have this girl walk out the house. If she had on pants, she couldn't wear them. It was only enough to cover her legs, and she had to take those pants off once she got to school. Or they had on the real thick tights. You know, and this is before we call them OPEC tights or whatever. They had them real tights on or whatever. And that was just ridiculous. You know, it's just ridiculous of how we sit down there and look at women. And a lot of this, how we look at women, comes from a religious standpoint. And this movie gave us all of that, child. I'm trying to get into another subject, but y'all see how this movie has springboarded into a whole bunch of stuff. See, if you up there, just like a diver, if you on that springboard about to jump into that pool, you know this is going to have a hellified ripple effect when you hit that water. And you see what this movie is doing, the kind of conversation that's coming out, just this movie. And we haven't even gotten into the intricacies of it yet. I'm just talking about, I highlighted one particular point. Okay. Very codependent. Okay. Sarah, you said my father's last sermon was based on chapter of Psalms 23. Really? Oh, wow. Marlon, you say he was jealous because Maddie blew up and he didn't. That's true. Leo said, I was raised Baptist, Kojic, and baptized apostolic, so I know a lot of this. Plus, my mother's family is full of preachers. Child. What black family ain't? Now, that's the tea right there. Many of us come from a whole idea. I had to get my drink. A whole idea, a slew of preachers and stuff, because that's all we had. Many of us coming from the days of old, let me not say slavery time, I'm just going to say the days of old. A lot of us, that's all we had to hold us together was our faith. So in order for us to look at times decently or whatever, that's what we had. But at the same time, you know, as we're looking at it, the way it was given to us was adulterated because it was given to us from a position of the taskmaster. It was given to us from a position of obedience, okay, and submission. Not being submissive to the spirit, it's being of submission to what they wanted us to know. And so we have now indoctrinated that, and instead of being able to learn for ourselves, we have taught what we were told. You understand? Hold on. Mm. In the words of my child, honey, Mr. Otis Mack, honey, pardon my indulgence, honey. I love Otis Mack for that. That's my baby. Okay. Uh, Archangel, you says it's in your messenger about your governor opening up your state. Oh, I'm coming. I'm trying to get to that. Yes, I'm coming to that, baby. Yes, I'm coming to that because that's all that's on the damn news, child. Okay. Mama, you say, my mom told me the same thing. Helped her, and my dad raised my younger siblings. Grew up too fast. Had to help out. Did it all. I agree with you. The oldest kid was able to do it. Okay. Yeah, he's gonna open up this Friday. That's what he say. I'm coming to that. I think it's a mix of both, Leo says. My mom was very codependent on me and I her. I was raised to be a caretaker, caregiver. It took a long, long time to me to find myself as I am still learning and unpacking that. How about that? I do get that completely. Davino, hey baby. Look, are you still in Africa? You know, you know what? You better bring me some damn fabric. Are you gonna be back in? Wait a minute. We supposed to be going to Orlando in October. Are you going to be back in time, or you just going to hang out over there, child, until the dust blow? Okay, you better have a good time and get back to your heritage, child. I marvel at you. I would say I'm jealous, but I'm not because I got a passport. But I got to get over there too. I would love to come and see the motherland, and I did my ancestry.com, so I found out that I'm from Senegal and some other places over there, child, the Ivory Coast and things. So yeah, I would love, and I want to get some real kente cloth, child. Oh, bring me some fabric. Marlon, you say pants were not even invented in the Bible. It's just dumb. How about that? Now, you know what? Don't you? You see how this stuff becomes man-made? See, a lot of things about doctrine and dogma is all up here. It comes from constructs that had nothing to do with nothing. This is why everything becomes subjective. And I'm not going to say that it's wrong. What it is subjective. I may not believe that. You understand? But because I don't believe it, and I'm in the minority of the belief, then it seems as though I'm the one wrong because the majority of the people are going to sit down there and point fingers. That's what society has become. You know, this is why we have so many different denominations, because the denominations were because they branched off. Listen, you got Baptist, then you got First Baptist, then you got First Primitive Baptist, then you got the New Baptist, then you got the First New, then you got the First New, Second New. Okay? It doesn't make sense. It just... and then everybody want to sit down there and say the other one is wrong. You wrong, or you wrong. Oh, well, we don't believe that over here. Oh, I'm Baptist. Oh, I'm Church of God in Christ. Well, ain't that what we all of us are? Well, no, Church of God in Christ is not apostolic, child. Okay, because the apostolic, honey. Ooh, apostolic, honey. Ooh, no, honey. We holiness over here. We holiness. Oh, bad girl. Okay. Okay, Leo said, yep, even dating back to the 1800s about this pants shit. I got you. Marlon says, hey to Keen, and Nikki's up in here watching. Okay. All right, I think I got all the comments for now. Okay, so cute. So you see what this movie can spark in as far as conversations and stuff are concerned. So I'm going to encourage you once again, if you have not watched it, I'm going to encourage you to watch it because if anything, it's a good movie. Okay, it's good entertainment. We on quarantine anyway, Chad. If y'all can sit down and watch that goddamn Tiger King shit, honey, you can watch the Clark Sisters, Chad. Okay, and y'all sit down there, the Tiger King. Did y'all see the latest episode? They added a new episode. I haven't watched it yet. But it's okay. If you can watch that, then you can watch 2 hours of the Clark Sisters, honey, and carrying on. And then for those of you who have seen it, I'm going to encourage you to go back and watch the unsung, the TV ones unsung on them, and let that be. Oh, this is good. This is good. Sarah says what? Sarah says doctrines coming from a place of leadership insecurities. Let me say this. Ha! Leadership insecurities. Now you better say that. Okay? Say that, Miss Sarah. Say it. Leadership insecurities. That's real good. Oh, that's real good. Real good right there. Oh my God. Okay? That's real good. Oh, that's real good. That's real good. See, you're gonna make me shout on that one, girl. I'm about ready to bounce around this damn apartment time. What you say, Shondo? Come on, Marlon. Right. Okay? That's real good. Real good. Ooh, that's a good word right there. I'm gonna have to quote that one. I got to put that up on Facebook. That's the Facebook quote. Somebody get to that to me. Somebody get that. Somebody do that. Somebody do that. Put it up there and let's quote Sarah for that. And this is the Sarah Dance. It's the same one. Yeah, LaBelle. Voulez-vous. Yeah, that's her. Somebody quote that. Okay? Yeah, I feel like Oprah right now. That's a tweet moment. How Oprah say tweet that? Yeah, that's what that is. So now, good morning, Star and Hank. Good morning. Come on in. Because now, let me transition. Oh, wait a minute. What you say, Sarah? Hold on. Dad said if people knew what went on in churches, they would never get saved. Leaders afraid of thinking for themselves, says Marlon. You know what? Here's the thing. And let's go here. And I said, wait a minute, hold on. Okay, Leo. Okay, Leo, you mean, Leo said, you mean the out of the closet freaks versus the in the closet ones. We all know about the goings-ons with convocation. Oh, and to be the fly on the wall. Oh, to be a fly on the wall or a video camera, walk slowly. Hey, DL. Right. I feel you on that, honey, because the gospel music workshop, honey, was just black gay pride all over again, honey. Okay. Rise. What you say? Hello, somebody? Come on now. Let's go here with that statement, Sarah, because one of the things that is so true about that, and I would co-sign your father, the pastor, honey. That's okay. You say you a PK, honey. So we gonna say the pastor, the bishop, the right reverend Dash. To co-sign him, we have to understand. And this is why the black church has such a foundation, because it was our everything. See, back when we were sharecroppers and slaves and all of that and blah, 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 the church house was the everything. It was the schoolhouse. It was the meeting place. You know, that was our community center. That was our town hall. That was our judge and prosecution, because we did everything at that one particular building because it was ours. We couldn't go, you know, in the big house and carry on, because that's not what that was. We had a special place. That's why juke joints are so special. Because if it wasn't, remember, if we look back, and I know I've heard stories all the time, there was the one house that they built, that was the schoolhouse, the church house, everything else. And then for those who were drinking, they had built a separate shed that was the juke joint. And that was much further back, so they could sit there, do their cussing and the fussing and carrying on. Because they didn't want it to be too close to where the kids was going to be in the church house and blah, 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 blah. And then they didn't want to get caught. Okay? So the church house became everything. And so everything was done up under the sun. And so as church elevated and grew and became to what we know it is today, of course, child, everything is up under that damn church house and up under the scrutiny of, ooh, you better not let God find out. Ooh, God will get you if you do such and such and so and so. And then we give so much reverence to the man of God who was called to preach. Oh, you can't talk about that's God's people. That's God's chosen one. You better not say nothing ill about that, because God will smite you. God will rain down on you. God will come down hard. You don't talk about God's people. And then we got children that ran away with it. See? And all you got to do is sit down there and put God on it. If somebody said, oh, that's not of God. That's not godly. Oh, that's not holy. For somebody who working on their salvation and has been indoctrinated with, oh, I got to save myself for the afterlife, for this, that, and the other. Child, bye. You know, you could sit down there. See, anything that you get up, if you get up in here, my mother used to do this all the time to me. She said, God gave you this for a reason. She used to pluck me and pop, every now and then, honey, when I did something real stupid, she'd pop me. She said, God gave you that for a reason. She said, use it. Use it for yourself. And don't let anybody try to tell you nothing without you understanding what you need to do for yourself. Okay? So, Leo, you say it was our social network. How about that? It was the one place where we could express ourselves and not get in trouble for it. Exactly. Sarah, you say Dad was called, but he attended Bible college and that's, you see there? It's one thing to be called, but tradition teaches study to show thyself approved. To show thyself. Not to show everybody else. You studied so that you know what the hell you're talking about. You became your own aficionado. You became your own expert. And based on your study, then you're able to teach. You're able to disseminate the information, and you're able to give references, child. Don't take me at my word, because I'm telling you what I found out here. Here, I'm going to give you this, and to prove me, do your studying, because you can find this here, 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 and here. And in your research, you may find someplace else. And then you can come back and teach me what you found. Because I'm saying it hit me like this. It may hit you a whole nother way. Again, the subjectivity of it. This is how we grow from one another. And then, of course, our own independent journeys. All of us are called for a mission. You know what you're called to do based upon your passions in life. Look at this, what you're doing. Look at what you do, what you call your hobby, what you call your passions, what's your go-to. Stuff that you do very naturally. Good, bad, or indifferent. Because even those things that we attribute to be bad, like let's take the dope dealers, for instance. Yes, it's hard on the community. It's horrible because they sit up there selling a product that's killing everybody, this, that, and the other. But if you sit down there and look at their skills, those are business. They're entrepreneurs all day. We just have to channel it in the way they say, never let your good be ill spoken of. Ain't that what tradition teaches us? But if you could channel that to your powers for good, imagine what kind of corporate 500 company they could have been. Imagine if the dope dealer was a legitimate pharmaceutical company and black folks could get their medicine. Everybody who's sitting up there having problems with their insurances and carrying on. Imagine if those who are dope dealers now, the big ones, honey, the dope dealer Big Meats, not me. Both of us have the same name. His name is Demetrius too. But think of him, White Boy Rick, and all these big dope dealers. Imagine if they were real pharmaceutical companies, to where those of us in our community were able to get our real medicines and carrying on. Huh? Could you imagine the number of black-owned pharmaceutical companies we can have here? Let's look at the dispensaries. Now that marijuana is legal in a lot of different states, how many of these dispensaries are black-owned and operated? They probably operated, but maybe not black-owned. You see? Imagine that. So we have the intelligence. We just got to use our powers for good. Okay. Marlon says, that's all our forefathers knew and had come into. Now we have more. Church isn't our only construct. Out of fear and lack of knowledge, they cast you out for having your own brain. Ooh. Okay, come on. Did the wizard throw the scarecrow out? He said, if I only had a brain. Did the wizard throw the scarecrow out, child? Come on now. Did the wizard throw the scarecrow out? God damn it, what you say, child? You gonna make me holler. Leo, you say, a very good example of this is The Color Purple and the story of Suge Avery. Classic example, baby. Classic example. Billie Jean came up in here. Hey, Billy. Leo said, yep. Look at the adult industry. The same thing. It's all business, but it's all about how you do it. And there you have it. Okay. So you see, this is this discussion, and we can keep going and keep going. Y'all see my allergies are acting up, child. So anytime I'm pulling the weights, because I don't want y'all to see me digging all up in my nose and carrying on this big ass honker. Okay. Okay. And my doctor had the nerve to tell me that as I get older, my nose is going to get bigger because your nose still grows. I said, this damn nose of mine is already big enough. What the hell is it going to grow some more for, child? Anyway, I could talk about it because it's mine, honey. If y'all say something, I'm going to cut you. Whatever, child. It's been mine. It's been here. It's been big all of my life. All 50 of my years. And 50 more to come. Actually, 75. Okay, or better. So now let me transition because Archangel went here and he sent me something and I came on here because y'all know I had the news in the background and carrying on. And one of the things that I want to touch on is this whole thing with Georgia. Okay. And the other states that are opening up. Okay. Now y'all know, y'all heard me say this a couple of times. I'm really not happy with having to wear these masks and carrying on. As a matter of fact, I promised my coach, my drama coach, that when I leave out of my house, I would wear one. I've only gone to my mailbox and to the laundromat. And those two, when I go to my mailbox, I don't wear one going outside because I'm here. But when I went to the laundromat, it was so early in the morning, I knew wasn't nobody going to be there, and I didn't have one on. But I did have my towel. So I may do this, and carrying on. But let me go here, because Deborah done came in here. Hey, Deborah, thanks for coming in, baby. The states and stuff that started to open. Now, y'all are hearing the obvious reasons, honey. This doesn't make sense to me. And every time I hear this, it is upsetting me. Okay? Why are we deciding to open up businesses? And I get that the economy needs to be stimulated. I get it. But if you know that we are not at a place to where either testing and or treatment can be given out in a plethora, I haven't been tested. Most of the folks have not been tested. You're still telling folks, if you feel you got symptoms, call the doctor first before you go anywhere to get a test. I don't care what y'all are opening up to, you still don't have enough tests. And and then it's not even it's more than just testing. It's treatment. Because now you still have not determined if someone who has had COVID-19 can become reinfected, if they're still able to pass it. Okay? You said you don't want to be tested? That's cute. My whole thing is this. I don't necessarily, what they're trying to do with these antibodies and carrying on, I don't necessarily think, it's something with that just don't sound right to me. It sounds like a quick fix, or let's see if you have the antibodies. But for me, here's where it was for me, and y'all been hearing me say this since this thing started. If you're able to tell me what the hell the damn molecule looks like, y'all say it looked like this. You done gave us 3D images of what this thing is supposed to look like. Which means what? You have gone in somebody's blood and looked at the blood work to determine what it is. So why is it that I got to wait to go to the doctor? How come I can't just go to the doctor, y'all draw blood, and put that particular test in the blood draw thing like you do with everything else? You know, took 16 damn vials from me already. What's another vial? Do that to go and test the damn blood to look for that particular molecule. Ain't that what the thing is? Now, perhaps it takes too long because we've been comparing this to what we did with HIV and carrying on and things of that nature. Let me say this. Yes, there are a lot of similarities with how we're processing this, how they're dealing with the deaths, how when folks have died from COVID-19, they just, it's so many deaths. They putting them in temporary graves. This time they're calling them temporary graves. Before with HIV, they were just dumping them. They were throwing those bodies in the trash. They were throwing those bodies and they weren't even burning them. They were throwing them in the trash and putting them in landfills and shit. Okay. So, the reason why it's different is because with HIV was found to be transmitted sexually. Okay. So a lot of the people didn't get it. They were like, well, hell, I'm not having sex right now. And then at the time, it was only targeted to gay men. Okay, so it was like, well, hell, I ain't gay. I ain't got to worry about it. But being around those who were positive, we had all of that. Okay, you can't touch my dishes. Oh, I can't do this. Everything that a person touched or whatever, you burned it. You threw it away. You separated it from everything else. We went through all of that. For those of y'all who don't have that particular reference, yes, I've watched that. I've seen it. There was all of the discussions and carrying on. As a matter of fact, I was even accused. I had got sick and I had lost some weight. I was just starting my college years that I didn't finish. But I was down at Wayne State University and I was in the theater department, child, and a rumor had got started that I was HIV. No, and at that time we didn't call it HIV. We just said, oh, he got AIDS. And at that time, the thing was those who had AIDS or the virus, they couldn't hold weight. They was losing weight, dropping weight real quickly. And that's how I started gaining weight. Okay, because I started eating to prove that I didn't have it. And so that's how I started gaining my weight, a lot of weight. I think I gained maybe like 60 pounds within a matter of maybe 6 months. Yeah, I was eating food, child. And that was my go-to business. I ain't got that shit here. I'm gaining weight, honey. And that was my throwback. But this particular thing here with COVID, because it's airborne. See, it's airborne. Okay, and it attacks the respiratory system. So we don't know who doing what. You don't know if you have it or not because the symptoms mimic that of the fucking flu. And this is what bothers me. Y'all keep saying, or they keep saying, the professionals keep trying to tell us, don't compare this to the flu. Don't compare this to the flu. Don't compare this to pneumonia because it's highly contagious. It's more contagious than that. What else do I have to compare it to, fucker? And the symptoms are the same. Huh? What else do I compare it to? What else? If you don't have a damn vaccine for it, if you don't have the proper treatment, how are you treating the damn thing? You treat it like you treat the flu. You treat it like that's the only thing we got right now. So how in the hell do you tell folks don't compare it to the flu? This is where it gets mixed up because if I'm having flu-like symptoms, I'm not going to go to the doctor immediately because I'm thinking there's one thing that I know how to take care of. I'm going to go get the Alka-Seltzer Plus and the damn Robitussin and carrying on. I'm going to do that from home. So if it's more than that, then we need to know what this is. But you telling me I can't go get the test unless I'm exhibiting symptoms. And if I got early symptoms, you want me to call first. And if they get worse, then go. That doesn't make sense. And then you talking about you want to open the city because you say we need to stimulate the economy. Now, how is it? Now, listen to the oxymoron in this. You say you're going to open up non-essential businesses, hair salons, nail salons, movie theaters, bowling alleys, tattoo parlors, massage parlors. How in the hell do you open up those kinds of businesses and then at the same time say, exercise social distancing practices? Really? Are you fucking for real? Huh? How do you exercise? Stand 6 feet away with a mask and protective. They say you don't have to wear the gloves, but most of everybody trying to wear the gloves and stuff, right? How did you do that when you are a hair salon and I got to be right up on you to do your hair? I got to be right up on you to wash your hair, baby. How did you do that? And I'm on your feet, cutting your feet and your toenails and rubbing your feet. I can't be 6 feet away from you, bitch, if I'm down there scrubbing your goddamn feet. Huh? How do you socially distance when you're at the bowling alley and we're sitting right here next to each other? Now that could be a little easier because bowling is a contained sport. Okay, we could, but if I got a 32 alley bowling alley, everybody right there. Huh? How do you do that? It doesn't make sense. Now, everybody has commented on the whole idea of the fact that the businesses that are opening are businesses that we as African Americans run to. Everybody waiting to go get their hair done. Everybody got to go get their fresh line. You ready to get your face did and ready to get trimmed off and stuff. Or, you got to go get your hands and feet done, child. Okay, I need a paraffin wax treatment. Okay, need this gel set, honey. Okay, so everybody go run. Now I want y'all to pay attention to something because see, this is something I said a long time ago, and I went to go get my nails done, and I did this on purpose. I asked the woman, I said, "Listen, do you have one of those masks? Because I have one of those." And the woman looked at me. She said, "No, I have no more. I don't have none." And I said, "You got to be lying because I just saw you go back there. You didn't have that on when you came here to the table. You went to the back and got one. So there's got to be something in the back because y'all don't use the same one on everybody. You ain't got no another one?" She told me no. But all of us sit down there, we breathing in those chemicals and things right there at it, especially those who get that gel polish, and you got to be up under the infrared light and carrying on. We don't take into account what we breathing in. And I have respiratory issues anyway. I'm asthmatic. Okay? We don't take that into consideration when we go get our hands done. I seen it. Oh Lord. I have seen this woman do this. And ever since then, I said I was going to do it and I never did. She brought her own tools. Okay? She brought her own nail clippers and stuff for them to use on her feet. And when it was said and done, she got them back. She went home and she, I guess she sterilized them herself or whatever. But those are her things. And I thought that was ingenious. Then I started thinking, if she's able to do that, where I got to think about Black-owned businesses because I'm like, why is it that we have not capitalized on this? And this is no hate on my Asian sisters and brothers and carrying on because I understand their need for entrepreneurship. But why is it that they have come into our communities and they have capitalized on that? And yet when we have Black-owned, we don't even go to the Black-owned ones, okay? We run down to Miss Maylene, honey, but Shanika over here doing the same thing. But let me say this also. There are a lot of times, honey, you go over there to Miss Shanika, and Shanika got a goddamn attitude, you want to bash that bitch in her face, okay? And then she always so damn hood. Why is it that when we have stuff like that in the hood, it's so hood, it's so hip-hop down, it has no sense of style or class or whatever. It is all ghettofied. And the presentation ain't right. I'm not into that damn kind of culture. So anytime I walk up into an establishment like that, I have a problem. Because it's like, okay, you're not catering to me. Okay, and if I come up in here and ask for something out of the norm that you used to do with Ray Ray and Daquan, okay, if I ask for something out of the ordinary, then you're going to sit up there and treat me as if I'm la-di-da. No, honey, I'm just different, and that kind of thing. What we got? Leo, you say what? This is all about money, point blank. Like I've told people, stay home. Why are you opening up barbershop salons and the like? Think about that. Okay, Deborah, you say, baby, we got to do your show to discuss what's really happening. I'm game. Star, you say, baby, we live in a country that doesn't value life at all. I find it funny that when they found out people of color are doing more, predominantly dying more than predominantly white people. Women are doing more. Predominantly, the white people can protest fully armed, and shout, "Let us outside!" And the country answers. Now you know what? See, you want to go there, okay? You want to go there because these children that sat there, and I told you I'm from Detroit. I live here in Atlanta, but I'm from Detroit. And when I saw all the Michigan children sit up there flooding Lansing the way that they did, and the other children who are protesting in the other states about, no, let us out of here, and do this and do that. I just heard that a lot of those kids that did those protesting, they said like a third of them kids are sick now, okay, or at least tested positive for COVID. Well, okay, what did you think? What the hell did you think? If we don't have, this is where the common sense is, children. If we don't have enough tests to test the folks, okay, when we do test them, of course we're going to have the numbers spike because we done been around this damn thing. The shit done had time to do whatever it's going to do because we have nothing to combat it with yet. So of course the numbers are going to spike. That there is common sense. Governor Kemp just said the same thing about opening up Georgia this coming Friday. He said, well, we know we want to get the economy started and carrying on, but we're looking at the data that we have, we've reached our cap and we're supposed to be this. But then he said, but we know that possibly more deaths can come. A lot of folks say they didn't catch that part. They didn't catch that part. I want y'all to go rewind. All of y'all who are Georgia, go rewind it, and you'll hear it yourself. He said, but we know that more deaths are to come, but based on the data, it should not be that many. So you're going to put profit over life. Wow. All because you ready to get started. And see, here's another thing, and I'm going to say this, I'm going to say this, I'm going to say this. Every governor, because Florida don't open up the beaches and shit again, what stupidity is that? Every governor who said yes to reopening up their state right now are a Trump supporter. Because this is feeding into his narrative of trying to do something in record time. Because whatever this is about him wanting to make sure that we got the best and we got the most, or we sent down thousands, it's unbelievable. Every time he does something, it's absolutely unbelievable. They work so hard, and it's in record time. It's in record time. Every time I hear that, I cringe. Because this is not a race about how fast we can do it. It's about making sure we can do it adequately. It's about making sure we do this safely. It's about making sure we do this the right way. You understand? Now, I'm sure all of y'all have seen the reposting of President Obama's 2014 cry when he said we need to have something in place so that 5 or 10 years down the line, if something happened, we'll be ready to stop it. Well, they had that in place until the current administration disbanded it. He disbanded it. His thing on the news said, well, hell, it was just laying dormant. It wasn't doing anything. I'm a businessman. I don't like just having stuff sitting around. Go research it yourself. That came out of his mouth. Okay. Deborah said, but Fauci is the one who attacked HIV to AIDS and to the gay community. I agree. I agree because see, a lot of that came down the pipeline and carrying all the powers that be. Because when I watched and the band played on and carried on and saw the inside working of what they did and things of that nature, I was furious. Because watching that movie gave me the insides of what was happening. I was living it, as many of us were. We were sitting there living it. I was sitting up there. I was a care provider for my cousin, And some of my cousin's friends, because folks were scared to touch them. They didn't want to be around them. And it would hurt my heart because these were people. These were people just screaming to be loved. All they wanted was somebody was to look at them and say, hey, I'm human. You know, and wanted to just to hold a hand or something. And that, I didn't mean to get emotional, but shit, I'm having a flashback to Doug. Doug, oh my God. I used to sit next to him and he would be in his wheelchair and he would just sit there and just rub my face because it was a sense of comfort. And I would give him a hug because he was slowly deteriorating and there was nothing nobody could do. But his own family had rejected him and carried on. And see, one of the things about here's another difference. And I know those of you who are dealing with people who are COVID-19 positive and carrying on, and they're in isolation. Look at those who are in nursing homes and you can't go see your mama because they tell you you can't come up in there. You got to look at them from a fucking window. Okay? And things of that nature. What is it about our babies? Our babies, all our babies know is hugs and kisses and carrying on. And they telling you can't do that. You understand? See, this is what makes this different because we are being forced because of something that I personally believe they done put out here. Because this ain't no damn coincidence. I really believe that this is population control. I really believe this is population control. Okay? Oh, wait a minute. I didn't mean to shed no tears, child. This is not, oh my God. This wasn't the time to do that. But maybe it is because it happened. But imagine that. Imagine what that is to where the nursing homes and things, well, them 17 folks done died in one nursing home in a day from this, and you can't go. Imagine those, y'all can't have a proper funeral or memorialize your people because they tell you only 10 people can show up. No more than 10. What is that? Huh? What is this? See, right now, I still say this is fear-mongering. And see, now hear me carefully because I don't want to sound like I'm being hypocritical. Because the whole idea of opening up the states and carrying on, here's where the thin line is. The thin line is, well, child, we'll never get ready. We'll never be prepared if we don't take the steps. Okay? So we got to be willing to take the steps. I get that. But right now ain't the time because there's no safeguards in place. See, it would be something if they had a safeguard in place. There's nothing there. Nothing there. How can a safeguard be in place when you still do not have enough tests out there for everybody to get tested? You still don't know the answers to what is the after effect of this damn thing. For those who've had it, we don't know what the contagion rate is. On carrying on, all you saying is have a face mask on and sanitize and wash your damn hands. Because if it was that simple with this thing, then we shouldn't have never closed down to begin with. But it's something to this that y'all ain't telling us. Because why is it so easy to open this damn thing back up right now? Because here's the thing. The governmental agencies are still not able to open until the 13th of May. So why is it that these states won't wait until all the shit can open up? Because most of us got to go down to the courts. You got to go take care of your court business and carry on. Why not wait until those things can open up too? That way you got time to put shit in. You got time to put the safeguards in place. That's not making sense. It doesn't make sense to nobody. Only not now. And now, the only thing that's coming that's making sense out of all of this is what everybody is saying. All of the pundits, all of the ones who saying y'all are targeting black businesses and black establishments because y'all know that black folks are dying more from this thing. So y'all have made us the guinea pigs by fault. A default, rather. Because y'all know folks gonna run to get their damn hair done. You know it. You know it. But see, here's where I am with all this. And y'all, this is gonna sound racist, and I don't mean for it to, but it is what it is. Okay? All of the Asian-owned businesses that are in our community, okay? We understand that China and they got a handle on it and this, that, and the other. But these children have never been tested. These Asian children ain't been tested, just like the rest of us. We don't know who went home. We don't know what time frame they went home and came back and this, that, and other. We don't even know how long the gestation period is for the carriers. And you gonna run there after they just had this whole big old upset? You gonna run to them real quick? Huh? To let them use you as they guinea pigs. They already use the chemicals that you're breathing in already, that you've been doing forever and a day. And that includes me too when I go get mine done. So I'm not excluding myself. I'm guilty of it as well. But here, we got this going on that we don't have a hook on yet. And yet, we're about ready to go out here and put all of us at risk. Going to the movie theaters, yes, we need to go out and have some fun and this, that, and the other. But child, you can Netflix and chill at home. What movies are that done came out now? They ain't even had no damn releases yet. So what movies are out that you gonna go run and see that they're gonna open up a goddamn movie theater that's closed confinement? You can't sit down there and social justice in a movie theater unless you're not expecting nobody to be there. That's daytime. That's when I go to the movie. I like to go to the movies in the daytime when they're first open, because I know ain't nobody gonna be there. I got elbow room. Shit, I can sit down there and watch the movie in peace. So how are you going to manage this? And y'all know I can't stand social distancing anyway, because it's an oxymoron of a term. What is social about distancing yourself from somebody? Nothing. So the only thing that makes sense is they done put us out here to be their live rats, their lab rats. Art, you done came up here. What you say, baby? Black folks, y'all are being targeted as guinea pigs. Keep your black asses at home. You don't need your hair did and your nails done, okay? Ronald done came up in here. Sarah, you say, have they targeted black folks demographics, okay? Deborah, you say the problem is that anyone who takes flu vaccines have this because the virus is in the vaccines. This is true, okay? Notice they kept the liquor stores open. Now, you know what? Ha! Ha, ha, ha! They did keep the liquor stores open. Okay, yes, they did. I know here in College Park, though, they gave them a time limit, though. They wasn't considered an essential business. Okay? So, yeah. That's correct. They're not clean. Okay, right. They said Deborah. Marlon, you say they have made too much of our dollars. Okay. You said sorry. I meant to say Diane. Okay, said Star. Okay. Okay. What you say? Preach Star. Marlon say Preach Star. Okay. Raymond is watching. Where did I hear what? What did I say, Deborah? You said, where did I hear that? Okay, tell me what I said, so I'll tell you. Molly said, lack of tests equals more spread of the disease. Kemp dropped the ball. He's not very bright. What is the data, sir? It would be more black lives lost. It's sad. This is so true. Those governors are up Trump's butt, says Marlon. Okay, Storm is watching. Okay. Remember you said, I'm just going to say it, some black people are just stupid. Well, how about that? Okay. President Obama called it. Okay, said Marlon. Deborah, you said, we think that, but is he trying to keep a Holocaust from coming? In what ways? Explain that, baby. Let me hear where you're going with that, because I think I hear, but let me hear where you're going with that. Deborah, you said that's why Trump wants to fire him. Oh, Fauci? Okay. think about what you said. Okay. Okay, again, what did I, okay, tell me what I said, because as I'm talking, child, it's getting that way. Okay, Marlon, you said it is emotional, big bro. Watching someone die of AIDS was horrible. This country did them wrong. I hate that damn stigma. Yeah. Deborah, but everyone who takes the flu vaccine is positive. Now that's interesting. I like that. Because, well, let's talk about that. Because I know I take the flu and the pneumonia shot because I'm a walking allergen, honey. I'm allergic to the world, okay? And as most asthmatics are. I would say that it does help me, when I do take it and carry it on, because I don't get it as much. Okay, whatever, if I have it long. And I do notice that I've just recently started taking both both the flu and the pneumonia shot. But there are times where I take one and not the other. Okay. But yeah, but they tell you that the vaccine itself has deadened cells of, or what they call inactive. How about that? Inactive cells of the virus itself, so that the body can build up the antibodies to it. Now, here's my question, and I've always asked this, but because I'm not a medical doctor and I'm thinking that they know best, what makes a cell? How do you kill or inactivate a virus? How does that work? Because if you can take a virus cell and deaden it so that you can make a vaccine and the person doesn't get it or whatever, or the antibodies can work towards it, toward defeating it, how do you deaden them? And if that's an easy process, well, maybe it's not, because this is what they're trying to do now. They said take about a year to make a vaccine, right? So if that's the process, then how is it that we have not jumped on that a long time ago? Because they've already said SARS, MRSA, and all this other, the flu and pneumonia. Fauci had already said that these are already coronaviruses. See, remember that? That was the first thing he said, that these are coronaviruses, which is why this is called the human coronavirus is on the Lysol can. Okay? Because we already had this already here. Okay? This novel or novel coronavirus is a new strand. Now, y'all heard me say this before. I look at this like the flu. Remember, the running joke is we got old pneumonia and new flu, because ain't nothing new about pneumonia. It's always the flu that comes back new and improved and carrying on, and it's always a different strand of the flu. And it never worked. Remember? Yeah, every time we got a new flu, it don't never work. The medicines that we have never work. And then they got to come up with something else to cure this new strand of the flu. Well, isn't that the same thing here? This here is a new strand, just like HIV mutates. Corona done mutated as well. So now it's a different strand. So now we're scrambling, but the difference between HIV and corona is that corona is an airborne virus and HIV isn't. So if it's airborne, we're still learning what this one. But here's my question: are we learning it for real? Because if it's already a coronavirus, we know how the flu is transmitted. We know how pneumonia is transmitted. We know how SARS is transmitted. We know how MRSA is transmitted. So if we already know how those things are transmitted, and it's considered to be a coronavirus, why are we not comparing that data to this, or at least tracking it from that particular standpoint as a foundation to see what's different about it? Now, that's just me thinking. I'm sure, at least it is my belief, that they done went there somewhere to try to do this thing. At least I'm hoping. I'm sure they have not started from scratch with this thing. At least that's my hope. Okay? Ugh. All right, what we got? Jonah came up in here. Joe Nathan is up in here. Hey. Okay, Deborah, you say, yes, this is the Democrats who are running farmer with China. China is everybody. It's everybody because, see, one of the things I want us to do is come out of this party thing because as far as I'm concerned, it's all of them. It's all of them. All of them. It's all of them, child. This is so nonpartisan. It's ridiculous because everybody's looking to point the fingers at one or the other, but all of their hands are dirty. All of them. Tell all of them. All of them. Marlon, it's okay to cry. Their lives were not in vain. This ish is population control. You can't tell me any different. I totally agree with that. I totally agree. Listen. They need to get rid of folk. Okay? Because we don't have the number of folks, of the people dying from HIV like we had and back in the day. We don't have the senior citizens dying off to where they're leaving their Social Security because they have no family and carrying on. We don't have that. Okay, we don't have that. And I said this in the other video. It's too coincidental to be a coincidence that some place where population is overflowing, and they used to tell the Chinese, you can't have no more than 2 children. And if you did, then they exported you somewhere. You couldn't stay in the country or whatever because that was their means of population control. For something that started over there in China to wipe out as many as they wiped out, then you went over to Italy and carried on. Child, no, this is population control. Because, and basically it's all about the coin. See, it's all about the coin. Marlon, nothing in place to prevent more lives from being lost after this coming weekend. Lord protect us all. This is crazy. They know what's up. They planned it and want us all to die. Well, okay, yeah. Billings is right, says Stewart. Deborah says, please understand this. The Democrats who put this together and put those foreigners in our community, we need to be wise. All right, let's start there. Because it becomes policy-wise and carrying on, but I want us to come out of the whole idea of blaming the parties. Because what happens is I think we get blinded by that. Because when we say the Democrats did this, we're not looking at the Republicans who are sitting up there, who are backhandling deals and carrying on, who are making it possible for that. And then the Democrats may say this, but then the Republicans want something else to go down. And then they're spearheading this and they're taking money from elsewhere and then locking up the countries and carrying on. We have this them versus that. All of their hands are dirty. All of them. Let's call them out by name. Which Democrats were responsible for signing those bills to put that into place? Which ones were in office? Let's do that. Let's deal with them individually so that we can stop this partying back and forth, because now what we have is a screaming match. See, this is why those who support Donald Trump are getting a bad rap because of their party. And a lot of them are supporting him only because they're Republicans and he's representing the Republican Party. And a lot of this shit is bullshit. Okay? The Republicans mean well, and I've been saying this for a long time. Even when I was back home and Governor Engler was over Michigan at the time, I understood what he was trying to do. I understood it, but his tactics were fucked. He sat down there and shut down all those mental health hospitals. Shut them down. Just closed them. Closed them. And told the family members, you get your shit. Get your people. Because we ain't paying for it no more. And it wasn't that Michigan was paying for it. They were getting all that insurance money and carrying on that the family was getting, because the family didn't know what to do. So when they shut it down, then we had this explosion of homeless. And now we have what you see now, homeless, everybody talking to each other, talking out loud and going crazy and this, that, and the other. Because when he did that, Ronald Reagan made that the model. They praised him and was like, oh, you did such a good thing to it. That became the standard. And then Fucking Giuliani did the same thing in New York, and his whole motto was the last one turn the lights out. That became that slogan because he was like, if you don't like it here, get your ass out, and the last one shut the lights off. That became that particular thing. So when we talk about these particular parties, everybody, the good children in the party are getting the bad raps, because I don't necessarily have a problem with conservatives. I think they have a place. I think sometimes they're too conservative, but at the same time, this is the yin and the yang of what makes life go around. We don't have to necessarily agree, but I understand. At the same time, I understand the progressiveness of the Democratic Party. Listen, we need to make sure that we help these children out, because everybody needs a helping hand. But what ends up happening is you done created a platform where folks don't get a helping hand. They end up, this becomes a lifestyle. And so now you got folks like me who are the working poor. Okay? I am single with no dependents, and my fucking tax bracket, honey, I don't get no tax breaks. I don't get the damn the tax and carrying on, or the child credit and this, that. I don't get none of that, because you don't consider me to be a family. See, when Demetrius goes to the grocery store and buy my groceries and come home, when I set my table and I eat a bowl of cereal, because that's what the fuck I feel like eating, my family has been fed. Okay? But I can't claim head of household to get tax breaks or whatever. You tell me I had to be single. So all of this is not set up for a single person to take advantage of. I don't get those credits. So everything about this has nothing to do with me, because the single people, single with no dependents, we are the purse strings of America. Fuck that about family, because everybody keeps talking about, oh, what about family? No, what about the single person? So all of this that goes on, that becomes these lifestyle things, the working poor, we're the ones that have to sit up there and suffer the most, because we don't have no outlaw. We don't have an ally for it. We don't get all of that. So it becomes the parties going back and forth, and then we have this mess. So what we have is just a mess and an influx of bullshit. And now we only have ourselves to thank for it. Now, how about that one? Okay. Otis is watching. Deborah, you said right. Okay, Deborah said the Democrats did too. Okay. Deborah said protesters' kids tested positive. Yeah, I heard that, but I've got to fact check that. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay, Deborah, this has happened everywhere. Jews own the economy for more than 400 years. This is why he is trying to keep the economy from crashing. He is trying to curtail a Holocaust. We don't understand what's happening because we don't know our history. Because we don't know history. Okay. I don't know about all that. I don't know if I don't know if I agree, but I'm not going to disagree. I'm going to let that sit. And let me do a little bit of research of that, because see, I will say this, and I'm probably guilty of this, because right now this man opens up his mouth and it's like nails on the chalkboard to me, because he'll start off fine. But that's in the first two sentences. After that, then it becomes a whole praise fest to what he has done, and oh, I'm brilliant, and oh, we have the most this, and oh, this, you've never seen nothing like this before, and it becomes just a whole insidious line of gratuitous praise. And I can't fathom that in something where we're trying to do X, Y, and Z. Plus, everything in me, I cannot help but hear everything that everybody else has done, particularly President Obama, all the things that has been set up. He is making sure that everything about Obama's presidency is either erased or he's trying to top or say he's done better than. It's a damn shame that here we are going into a whole new election period, and you are the one that's still blaming Obama. And I said this because, listen, when Obama's presidency was there, yes, the first 6 months, he would sit up there and say, okay, we coming in, I had inherited this, I had inherited that. After those first 6 months, it wasn't him who was saying that. It was us, the people. The people were the ones in defending him, were the ones that kept saying what Bush did, what Bush did, what Bush did, what Bush did. That first presidency, that's all we heard, what Bush did. But that came from the people. It didn't come from him. He was up there and he fought because them children fought him tooth and nail. They wanted him to be a one-term president, and they fought him everything he was trying to do. For the most part, if you feel as though he didn't do something, blame that on your congressman. Because those children who were against him, they fought him tooth and nail to make sure nothing that he wanted to do went through. Now, the second term, there was no need to blame Bush now because, that wasn't that. But here we have this current administration. That's his mouth. Still blaming Hillary, still blaming Obama about bullshit. And I cannot sit down here and listen to him, talk intelligently, because now where is your blame? Where is your accountability? Where's your self-accountability to say, we told this up, but we got to fix this? That has never come out of his damn mouth. Never. Even with trying to lay out his plan. His plan is a gratuitous praise. It has nothing to do with the people. It's about how wonderful I am. I have yet to hear him say, okay, let's attack this way, and this is going to be how we do this. That's not what this is. This has always been about how wonderful he is. And even these dear Corona updates, these Corona updates are fucking campaign endorsements. This is his re-election campaign. Who sits up here and do a damn election, a campaign video at a press conference? Live for everybody to see. Because that televised live. See? So it's hard for me to sit down and to take his plan of action seriously, because I don't get it as a plan of action. I get it as him playing chess. This is what we're doing, and blah, blah, blah. And then he never takes accountability. He always blames somebody else. And then somebody else is stupid for this, and somebody else is stupid for that. Then when he's called out on his discrepancies, it becomes a whole big to-do. So I can't, that's the time I'm gonna have to let that one sit. I don't see this as being an anti-Holocaust thing, but I'm gonna have to sit on it, but I'm not gonna disagree with it. But let me sit. Raymond, you say, I heard that this virus is a combination of all the viruses. Yes, Raymond, that's what they said. A coronavirus is a combination of viruses. That's it. Oh, I had a glitch. That's why there's so many. There's different strands, because everybody what's on the Lysol can is the human coronavirus. But this is the novel coronavirus because it's a new strand of it. But yeah, they said that's how come they were saying that SARS and MRSA and the flu and carrying on are all coronaviruses. I'm sorry. I had to spit and I didn't want y'all to hear that. You said we really do need to do a show. Okay, okay. Cute. Marlon said, I agree. Yes, says Marlon. SARS killed more people than COVID. Exactly. Yes. Raymond says, question, why was this created in the first place? That's a good question, honey, because I feel as though it's population control. Germ warfare, honey. Germ warfare replaces nuclear warfare, darling. Because, see, with the nuclear warfare, it's not, I don't believe it's expensive. I don't think that it's that expensive. You can sit down there and wipe out somebody by putting in their food and carrying on. You don't have to sit down there and drop the atomic bomb no more. Hell, remember, they were sending anthrax through the fucking mail, child. Okay. So, Deborah, no, baby, it's not all of them. You don't understand. Okay, until I get, show me it. Because right now, but then at the same time, I'm saying that it can't be all of them. But what it is that I'm not. I have to take that against. I can't sit down there and put one party over the over. It's everybody up in there that got their hands in this. Everybody who got their hands in this is all wrong. Everybody who's fighting against it are the ones that's on the right side of this thing. Anybody who's making a profit off of this or got their hands in this, or anybody who is sitting up there acting as if their constituency or their political career, it depends on this, you're on the wrong side. Because if you're not willing to say, okay, I'm going to walk away from this, and if you're not willing to say, I can't do this and carry on, then honey, that's it. Look at, what's the child's name? What's his name? Oh, he was running for president. What's the child's name that stood up against Trump? And during the impeachment, he was the only Republican that said, I'm not down for this. What's the child's name? I can't call his name. I'm looking right at him too, but I can't call his name. See, if you're not willing to be one of those kind of people, then this thing won't work. It's just like you're saying, okay, the Democrats are this and the Democrats are that. Okay, that's fine. But you're willing to sit up there and put that on the line and say, here is why. Even you're not necessarily a Trump supporter, but you say, I see the vision. I see what we're trying to do. You've told me, we're trying to get this to where we as blacks can sit down there and have our own businesses. Now, a lot of us don't see that, but the grander picture is, as a businessman, we have nothing to lose on this because the other way has not worked for us at all. So why not put a chance on this? At least we have an option. And I totally agree. At the same time of agreeing with that, where are we and where is the support in that? Because right now I don't see the support. I hear a bunch of talk, but I don't necessarily see the support in that because now it becomes gratuitous praise. Okay, I done gave y'all a couple of crackers. I didn't give you the crumbs. I gave you a whole rich cracker that you could break up into your soup yourself. And now I'm supposed to be praised because you gave me a cracker? Really? Okay. So now where do we go from here? So seeing it and carrying on is one thing, because we can see it, but the execution of it becomes something else. And then maybe it's up on us to do our part in it as well. Perhaps that might be the lesson in all of this. What are we willing to do to make it happen? Maybe that's the grander question. You see, what are we willing to do? And what are we willing to sacrifice? Because there's a certain level of sacrifice to this. The question is, what is it that you're willing to do? Okay. Jack is watching. Deborah, you said, I have that information. I put it in articles long before Trump. Obama was a major pawn in this game. Okay. Sarah, you said, I have to start praying, prepare for my morning prayer, so I must end here with you. I enjoy all of this podcast. Please reach out to me via email or phone. Be encouraged. All right, my darling. Yes. You go get yourself ready for your prayer time and your communion and things. And thank you for coming in, Sarah. I love you much. Thank you. Deborah, you said no one has paid attention to what the Democrats were doing for the deep state shadow government. Please do your homework. Okay. It hurts that we have no fucking idea what's really happening. 4,000 years, not 400. Okay, well, I'll go with that too. Okay. You say 10 times as much. Okay, how about that? Okay, let's be real with it. All right. Colin is watching. Raymond, you said the man is crazy. Okay. You said because Obama was the pawn who set this up. Please get it. Okay. Okay, we get it, says Raymond. You said, oh my God, man, the Clintons own Clinton Pharmaceuticals with China. Who? Zuckerberg. Oh, okay. Derek is watching. Hey, Derek. Hey, baby, how are you doing? I love your Instagrams, honey, with all that you're cooking and carrying on, and your talks and things. Those are really good. I like those. Star, you said, I just need Trump to stop pissing off the countries that make our medicines. Okay. Deborah, I just text you who has their hands in it. Okay, I'm gonna get to that in a second. Deborah, I will tell you why on your show. It's too much to tell on here. I know. Okay. We need to be our own FBI. How about hello? Listen. Now that I think is probably one of the best things that I've heard in a long time. Because we have to understand how to be our own police in our own communities. See, listen. This is gonna sound very that way. God damn it. Well, okay, that's okay. Y'all remember when the Black Panther Party was up and the whole idea was we have to understand the law and we have to know the law in order to use the law. And so when we know the law, we can protect ourselves, we can police ourselves, and we can police them from us. Okay? And we could be our own police force so we could govern ourselves. And it may sound as if it is a new brand of government, but it's not. Democracy is that. It's government for the people, by the people. That's what democracy is. We put these people in place because we say that we trust you to be our voice, and you're supposed to work for us. But what has happened is we have allowed the powers that be to sit down there and act as if we work for them. That's a whole other way around. All of our tax money go there. Everything that we send up here that they nickel and dime us out of, honey, go to feed them. We pay for this and we pay for that. Okay? At the same time, we have relinquished our power in the space of, or in the sake of saying, not wanting to be responsible or not wanting to deal with it, or this is too much for me to handle, or you don't feel like thinking about it. See? And that there's where this is a whole big to-do, child. It's a whole big to-do. Yeah, we can't cover all that here because, child, here, I'll never get off this thing. Raymond, you said they put an unqualified person into the highest office in the land, like blowing smoke in our eyes so you can't see what everyone else is doing. Okay. Star says party polarization is the problem. We need to research before we vote and not just bubble Dem or Republican. Learn what you're actually voting for and vote for what benefits you and your community. Then let me stop right there before I go into anything else, into the other comments, because I'm going to tell you something that bothers me. Do you realize that here in this country, you are not given a full ballot when you vote? If you say that you are an independent person, you won't get a ballot that has the presidential candidates on it because there's two parties. You're going to get a ballot that only is about stuff that's independent. Like if we're voting on laws and this, that, and the other, whatever statutes are on there, you don't get a ballot that says Democratic or Republican to where you can independently vote for who you want to vote for, because perhaps you want to vote bipartisan. You may want a Democratic president, but a Republican vice president. You see, or whatever. They don't allow that. They don't allow that because the ticket is the ticket. If you're going to vote the Democratic ticket, then you vote for this person here and this person to be the vice president, or this person and this person. You can't cross the two. That is ridiculous. If I'm independent, I like this one, but don't like that one, but I like what this one is saying. How come we do not have that option? That floored me. When we would do early voting and carrying on, and I didn't notice this until I went to go vote during Obama's election, the first time for Obama. I had never paid that no attention because I knew who I was voting for before. This time, I had no party affiliation because as I aged, I realized to come out of parties. So I had went up in and I said I was an independent, and the woman said that. I said, well, wait a minute, I said, where the folk at? She said, you said you're independent? I said, yes, but I have a vote. She said, oh, well, you need to sit down there and declare a party then if you want to vote. I said, excuse me? Yeah. So, So this whole thing, that there is the other part of this, that's a flaw. And I think, you know what, I need to get that to Stacey Abrams and carrying on, because see, as independents, we should be able to vote who we want to vote for in this election and not be forced to have to deal with party affiliations and carrying on. That there is ridiculous. That's ridiculous. Deborah says, China makes our medicine, sweetie. Now, you know what? That there is where, yeah, okay. Because how? Now let's go right there, because see, this is the other thing that scares me. How is it that you're going to sit down here and drop the damn virus dropped over here somewhere that wiped out a lot of the community, but yet we're going to trust everything that's coming from there? As much as you saying we need the social distance and carrying on, yeah, you cut the country off, but you didn't cut off the imports that was coming in. All the toys and the this and the that that's made in China, that shit still came in. Everything that came in. So we got all the product and stuff that's still here. So what are we saying, people? We don't know what them folks were doing over there in making this shit. What do we know? What do we see? Yeah, and that's what. Yeah, okay. They aren't the only country, sweetie, but yes to them. Okay. Now you are thinking. Okay, thanks, girl. Okay, Deborah, at Star, what other countries make big pharmaceutical companies other than China? India, says Star. We don't have that option because we're not independent. Okay. You could be Democratic and vote Republican or independent. You know what? Once you get the ballot, yeah. Once you get the ballot, you have to. But see, I know here they were doing this, and see, this is during the governor election too, because when Stacey was running up against Governor Kemp down here, if you said you was a Democrat, then you got a Democrat ballot. Okay, if you said you was a Republican, then you got a Republican ballot. And that there ain't right. And I swore I had talked about that. And I said, this ain't right. This ain't cute at all. This ain't cute at all. Because how is it that you going to lock me into something? I may want to say, you're not supposed to know who the fuck it is I vote for. If I say I want a ballot, my vote is supposed to be confidential, right? But if you sit up there knowing who done voted what, and the numbers are fucking... See, they'll sit down there and cross-reference the ballots. If they want to be real persnickety, see, they can cross-reference your ballot and your the number and your name, because they put your name next to the number on the ballot. So they know how you voted. But if they gave you, they know, because they know what the ballots are. They gave you a Democratic ballot, then that's what that is. And then here's the other thing. Because if you're independent and go up in there and say, I'm an independent, you're not going to get a chance to vote for this, that, and the other, because you're not declaring the party. So that's how some of the votes not get counted. Raymond, you said the problem is not all the past. The problem is not all the past presidents. It's this idiot. There is no conclusive facts that Obama did anything wrong. The first black president of America, and they treated him like shit. Some of us treated him like shit. We need to stop all this divided arguing and see the real enemy. Child, listen, that there is that. We have to sit down here. We've got to do better. And I know that's all cliche and carrying on. I've got to do better. I'm going to echo Deborah on this and say that we need to do our own research. We need to fact check and carry on. We need to understand a lot of this kind of stuff. And let's understand our sourcing. Because, see, here's another thing. I know folks like to sit down and they will research and carry on. Because I know a lot of these Hotep children, you see a lot of the Nation of Islam folk and the Pan-African folks, they'll come up with a lot of information. And I've come to find out that a lot of it is conjecture, because they get emotionally passionate about something. They'll take something that's fact and then they'll expand on it and make it sound as if it is factual, when most of the expansion becomes their own conclusion on what they found out. And when I started learning that, I said, okay, I have to take this with a grain of salt. This is why when you get something, you have to study to show thyself approved. This is why when you get it, you don't just take it at face value. You sit down there and research it yourself. Cross-reference some stuff, because this is how you find more information, when you cross-reference. Okay? And then when you cross-reference, because I've started doing this too, is that I always say, well, I'm not always. I try, and I'm attempting to be more open-minded. I say, well, I read this and they suggest that, and I found this to be interesting because, and I want to be able to include that in my conversation, so that I'm using it to disseminate information and not make it seem as though it is fact, because it may be a truth for me, and I may be in agreement with it, but it may not be the truth. It may be conjecture. It may be analogies and carrying on. It could be anecdotal and from a personal experience. And if it's a personal experience, then that's a truth for that person, because that's how their life aligned. But it may not fit you and your life and your walk. Just like me as a gay man, honey, what I've gone through is not going to sit down there and necessarily register with the heterosexual man. Okay? So my brand of manhood ain't going to be the same as his. You understand? So with that, pull what you can from it, but you do your own research. You see? And to understand. And then be open-minded enough. See, this is where we have to be. And this is why I could disagree with Trump, and I could say I'm not a Trump supporter. But we have to be open-minded to listen to those who are. This is why anybody who said that they are a Trump supporter, I welcome them to come on my radio show and carrying on, because I want to have a healthy discussion and not no vigorous argument. Because this is not about pointing the fingers and talking about how dumb he is or how unqualified or whatever. This is about, let me hear what you're hearing. Show me what it is that you're supporting him. Why are you supporting him? Show me, so that I can get on the bandwagon to see this from a different lens. I may not still agree, but at least if there's somebody who can articulate it in a way that makes sense, okay? Because I don't need no dumb ass. Excuse me. I don't need no dumb ass fool sitting up here just talking out the side of their mouth. Just like I can't stand folks when they were voting for Obama, they were only voting because he was black. That was dumb. Well, this town does to have a black president. That was the dumbest shit I heard. Okay, why? Why is it time? What does that mean? You know what I'm saying? So you have to have a full thought out thing. Diamond and Silk, those two girls, child, they're all hype. That I don't believe a word that's coming out of their mouth. They all hype. You know what I'm saying? I cannot. Okay, I cannot. They done got caught up because they sound like they watching him on The Apprentice. You know what I'm saying? But someone who's intelligent to say, okay, you know what? This is what this is. Okay, just like Deborah on here. She's been on the show. We talked. And she said, well, I'm not necessarily a supporter per se, but I'm giving him a chance because, as she outlined, I said, damn, I could deal with that. I could actually deal with that. Because it's a thought out process and it made sense. So cool. Then let's see where this goes. As a matter of fact, it kind of got me on board to that kind of thing. I'm like, okay, well, let's see where this goes. But no, we done set up here and we're ready to persecute and prosecute and carry it on because we have a lot of emotion attached to it and conjecture. But then at the same time, his damn antics end up fueling the conjecture and the emotion, because this fool will sit down here and get into this damn gratuitous praise shit that has nothing to do with running this damn country. Ain't got nothing to do with that. Nothing. And then we end up where we are. So, All right, on an exhale, child, I done kept y'all up enough, honey. Thank y'all for my third shifters. And those of y'all who caught this live, if you're watching this in the replay on YouTube and things, honey, thank you. Please like and share and subscribe to all of this. We could take this on to the radio show. So if you want to come on dishingtea.com, honey, please go to my website. I mean, wait a minute. The website is dishingtea.com. How about that? The radio show is Dishing Tea with Big Meech. Go like the Facebook page. Now, there's two of them. Two Dishing Tea pages. Use the one that has all the capital letters in it. Dishing capital, it got TEA all capitalized. And it said with Big Meech, and Meech is all capitalized. Like that one. The other one was a secondary page because they had shut me down. I tried to rebuild the page. And then they opened the page back up. So I never went to go to get rid of that. I just kept it. So use the one with the capital letters. Okay? Like that page. And then if you have ideas and stuff, go to my website, www.dishingtea.com. Go there, and then let's talk. Okay, let's do this. As a matter of fact, I think what I'm going to do, because we're on this quarantine thing, I think what I'm going to start doing is bringing in a visual component, like through Zoom or something, so that we can be face-to-face and talk. Let me put that together. I'm going to talk to my team about that. We were talking about it, and we're going to see if we're going to bring that into the equation. But also, we want to get back up to taping the TV show, Dishing TV. So so we can have these kinds of discussions. Because, see, this is where this needs to come from. We need to really, really, really have this, educate ourselves, understand it, and not be afraid to have a difference of opinion, but not be afraid to hear somebody else as well. And then, if somebody else who has a difference of opinion makes sense, don't be afraid to give them their credit, honey. Because I think oftentimes we don't like having these discussions because we don't want the other person to be right. Ain't that a dip? So, having said all that, my darling, take, like, share this. Let's get this thing on and cracking and popping and things. I'm going to do better with trying to come on a daily basis because I need to, but I just have not been feeling it, honey. But we're going to have more of these discussions so that we can find out how we can ease our way back into everyday world. And will it be everyday world again, honey? Has the world changed as we know it? Do we, or are we, or will we ever get back to life as we know it? That's going to be our next question. Until then, darling, if you love me, tell a friend. If you hate me, tell an enemy. But do know this: one way, shape, style, form, or fashion, everything that I'm doing, honey, will move forward. Until the next time, toodles, honey. Woo!